The National Heritage Project has officially unveiled a life-size statue of Archbishop Desmond Tutu. The statue will join 100 other statues of iconic resistance leaders in the Long March to Freedom. Newzroom Afrika's Nasiphi Same is standing by to speak to the CEO of the National Heritage Project, Mr. Dalit Tambo. Good afternoon, Nasiphi.
Afternoon, Tutu. And as you mentioned, we are in Century City, where the unveiling of Archbishop Tutu's life-size bronze statue was just unveiled, obviously draped in his favorite color, purple. And just to talk to us more, not only about the exhibition, but the arch himself was loved by many. I'm joined by Dalit Tambo. Sir, thank you so much for your time. But we've heard so much about the arch, was loved by many, not just in our country, across the continent and the globe. But talk to us about the statue that stands behind us.
Of the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Well, we decided to commission it about 6 months ago for Human Rights Day, or as close to Human Rights Day as we could get. He's obviously very deserving of a statue of commemoration. And our thought was he is one of the titans, immortals, if you like, who have to be here amongst his comrades, amongst those who fought the liberation struggle with him, to join in this pantheon. It is an honor for anyone to be in this pantheon because it goes back to the 1600s. So at the back you've got Makoma and Dingaan and Shaka and all of them. And as you come forward, it goes through the eras. And he belongs to this era and was one of the greatest sons of our soil. And one of the most popular globally. I was even listening to a band the other day called Desmond and the Tutus. So everybody has an image of him in their mind. And what we want is for people to come here to visit him, to hug him, to caress him, to take pictures with him, and to remember the important work he did, the massive contribution he made to our liberation, and to remember his jocular personality, the beautiful, dancing, joking, and yet deadly serious about human rights, about our people progressing, about relieving the suffering of the poor. He was a liberation theologist. He wasn't just about God, he was about liberation. And so, yeah, a prophet, one of the most beautiful men we've produced. And this country produces beautiful people. This was one of the finest that walked our soil. And we owe him so much gratitude. So our hope is we'll kind of immortalize him in this and bring him back to life for young children who didn't get to hold his hand or, hug him. And that his memory will be instilled in our national identity.
And on the podium, you said, touched on something very important, that embarking on this exhibition, there was also a concerted effort to look for black sculptures in the country.
Well, apartheid did not train our people in sculpture. And the sculptures that they did of their racist, fascist leaders were obviously done by their own people. So what we found is a lot of brilliant white sculptors. Often, artists are liberal-minded, often anti-apartheid anyway, but they lived and breathed the commissions we gave them. And so it was quite a journey to find black sculptors, but we did. And they were doing sometimes little figurines for the airport or whatever, of village scenes and things like this. And we said to them, look, come on board. Let's do life-size sculptures with you. And they did that in their numbers. There was some training, there was some mentorship. In some cases, they first worked on a sculpture with one of the older guys. No, we have a core now of black sculptors who are world-class.
And what did Mamlia Tutu have to say when she saw Dad Arch about 6 months ago? We saw that the family was here, the daughter quite emotional when the unveiling was done.
Yes. Well, Mama Leah was also very emotional. all I remember her saying is, "That's my husband." But she was quite emotional. Naturally, it's only been a short time since his passing, and I think she recognized the features and everything, really loved it, but really didn't want to get too close to it. And even in the car, she was very emotional and a little tearful. But we said to her, in your own time, as long as it gets your approval.
And if the Arch could see this statue, we know that he was obviously a humble man. What do you think he would have said?
I'm not sure. I think, to begin with, if I'd said to him, we want to do a statue of you, he would have said no. As you say, he was very humble. He probably would have questioned it. But I think he would appreciate the fact that he's one of the stalwarts of our national history. He's one of the big factors that defeated apartheid in this country and gathered us into a force. So I hope he would be joyful, stand next to it, like they do at Madame Tussauds. Unfortunately, in our case, you have to have gone to heaven before we do a sculpture of you. But I think he would rejoice in it as much as his family. And when you see emotion from his daughter and grandchildren and things like this, I think it speaks to the brilliance of the artists in ensuring that every aspect of his face, his body, his hands, very carefully paid attention to detail. So I think he would rejoice as much as us and feel that, no, I'm still there.
We'll have to leave it there, Dali
Yes.
Tambo, there, obviously speaking about the unveiling. And I'll just ask my colleague to actually show you the Arch himself. And as we heard, struggle icon, anti-apartheid activist, a man that loved humanity and also a moral compass for the country. Obviously, we had a number of dignitaries that were in attendance, including the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Deputy Minister of Sports and Arts and Culture, and many others that were here to remember and honor the Arch in the unveiling at the Long March to Freedom exhibition. And as we heard from Dali Tambo, Dali Tambo saying that immortalizing the Arch to ensure that even future generations will be able to come to this exhibition and to hold his hand and to see him and actually touch the person that many are hearing or have heard about.
Beautiful works of art there where you are. Thank you very much, Nasiphi Same. Good to see Dali Tambo as well.